I'm Gemma, welcome to my channel. So the other day I reacted to a Ryan Upchurch video, which isn't really out of the blue for me. I do the odd reaction to Ryan's music, and then it was like a bit of a turn up for the books, or a bit of a surprise. It was actually a really sad and heartfelt video, and it was a bit of a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting it. Anyway, so Katie, it's taken her a few days, but Katie Noel, is it Noel or Noel? I never know. Katie Noel has finally responded to it. Now, I haven't listened to it yet. This came out last night in my time. So I'm going to react to it now, just to do a follow-up, I guess. Yeah, so she's reading out these text messages that they've sent to each other. I feel like quite uncomfortable. I like the way she's showing the text messages. I always think that, you know, if you send, we use like text messages and messages as like conversations these days, don't we? And you just expect, well, I expect if I send something to somebody that's just between me and them, I would never expect them to screenshot it and then share it for like for the public to see. I think that's a shady thing to do, basically. I think that is a shady thing to do. I personally wouldn't be ever doing that. Maybe unless I needed to. So maybe if I was being accused of something, then maybe. I don't know. I just don't think she needs to be going into all of this. Don't really think this is relevant to the cause, to her cause. She's trying to fix her career now. Obviously, she's messed her career up. I saw a post on Instagram from Patty, and she had shared something that was to do with like, I don't know, solicitors, lawyers, whatever, about what the next move was going to be, and they were like, oh, Katie's made different videos ready to be shared. And it just made me think, oh, different videos. Did she have different sides to the stories? Has she got different versions of this story? Was she gonna, you know, like when films have different endings, and they do all like TV shows, especially have sometimes that when they don't want it to be leaked out what's going to happen in a storyline and a plot, they film different versions of it, and then they don't, so nobody knows if they are leaked out which one is actually going to be the one that they use. It just makes me think of something like that. Like she was like, she's filmed these videos in advance ready, because it's been a good few days now, hasn't it, since Ryan's Hell to the Nope video. It just makes me think there's something a bit shady and there's something a bit dishonest about this.
March.
There's a little example of how she's a liar. All the way through this, you get the impression when she was reading out their personal text messages that Ryan actually thinks she's with this dude that's sitting next to her best friend. Because he's like, does Keezer know? So all the way through this, you get the impression that Ryan thinks, you know, or am I treading on some toes here before, you know, I declare my love for this girl, whatever. It just seems to me that like Church didn't have any inclination that she was a lesbian, and she was with this, is it Jodie? That was her girlfriend, Jodie. He doesn't, it seems to me that like Ryan's quite naive to that fact that this girl's a lesbian. I don't know, I might be wrong there, but it just seems to me that Ryan's more concerned about this guy, he's treading on this guy's toes, and he's sort of like, you know, with those text messages he was like dipping his feet in the water to see, testing the water to see what the deal was. So we're going back to March, so we're almost, you know, shy of a year, and she was already telling lies that, you know, this girl's a lesbian, and she just seems like to be really mixed up, because most people, if you want to be gay or whatever, they're like, yeah, I'm gay, and you know, I don't care what people are. I haven't got any prejudice at all against what people's sexualities are, but usually, you know, you'd be quite, you know, not proud, but people are like majorly like quite proud of the fact, and this girl just seems to be quite messed up. She seems to be quite ashamed of who she is. I do feel sorry for her in that respect, but I think it's due to the fact that her personality is so horrible that she doesn't know how to deal with these things, and you know, she's not being true to herself until she doesn't know. Thinking back to when I was 19, 20, maybe I didn't know. I was probably a horrible person too. I think a lot of, not a horrible person, but you know, I hadn't developed my personality yet. I didn't know who I was yet. And I think we're all the same at that age, especially these days. You know, we don't know who we are. I really don't think I sort of got my shit together till I was in my late 20s, to be honest. Thinking back, when I trained to be a nurse, when I was 27, I think I started doing that, 27, 28. And I don't really think I sort of knew who I was until then. And then even more recently, I think, you know, every day we're discovering different things about ourselves. And I just don't think this girl, my point is, I don't think this girl knows who she is. And I think that's why her personality is coming across as so damn horrible. I don't like to keep saying this, going on about her sexuality, but she is obviously, she's a lesbian. She's been having a relationship for what sounds like a long time with the same woman. How her relationship with Ryan's been progressing, and that this opportunity arises and she gets into a relationship with him. She's even just said she's lost her virginity to him. And this girl is now, you know, she's realised that's not what she's about. She's regretful of this, even though, you know, obviously it's been a consenting situation, but now all of a sudden she's regretful of this, and you do see this a lot. You do see this a lot in human behaviour. I've got a psychology degree. When I left school, I went to university and I got myself a psychology degree, so I do know a little bit about human behaviour and how and why humans react the way they do. I studied it for 3 years. And this video is obviously, it's like a manufacturer. They've sat down and they've made this video and they've thought about it for 3 days, exactly what they're going to say. From those screenshots from Mama Church's Instagram, it sounds like as though they've had different videos of this, different versions of this video ready, so they could decide at the last minute to see what unfolds, decide at the last minute which version they were going to put out. There's a lot of things. I was feeling sorry for her because I think that's what she wants. She sat on this video looking like a little girl lost, and that's what she wants. She's portraying, she's actually manipulating everyone, I'd say. So first of all, let's recap now. Not only has she described all his behaviour, which is like a normal behaviour. There's nothing really shocking there, is there really? There's nothing that you're like, oh. She not only has she dissed him, like, that's like the number one thing that you do not do to a man, especially publicly. You do not insult his manhood, I suppose. That's a pretty low thing to do. And if a man does that to a woman, if a man disrespects a woman, I don't know, calls them ugly, calls them fat, all of these things, women lose their minds and everybody loses their minds. And you know, it's exactly the same thing. That's a low blow, isn't it? That is a low blow. And I'm saying it with like a bit of a smile because it sort of did make me smile, but it's a pretty shady woman that does that, in my opinion. It's exactly the same thing. It's saying something hurtful about a woman and trying to put a woman down. And we as women probably overthink all that a bit more than what men might laugh it off, but I don't think they do when it's to do with their junk. I don't think they do. So first of all, she's done that, and then
but I took a shower because one, I drove all night and sick, and two, because I felt violated, I felt gross. I had to just take a quick shower and rinse off and just get some clothes. So I took a shower in the downstairs bathroom. So I'm giving y'all all the details. I took a shower in the downstairs bathroom.
Again, she's trying to justify why she stayed there all that time. I get the feeling that in this video that she's just like digging herself into a even bigger hole. She's not offering anything new here. She's just describing more in detail and being a tad shady actually as well. She's just, with what she's saying, you know, there's a bit of an undertone there, isn't there? Where Ryan's video, he just like showed his heart on his sleeve and his emotions. He was angry, he was scary, but you know, he was showing what his emotions were at the time. I don't think Ryan thought about that video. Probably in hindsight, he probably wouldn't have said some of those things or reacted that way, but that video was how Ryan is. He doesn't try to hide anything. He hasn't got ulterior motives. He just betrays himself exactly how he is, warts and all. Where Katie sat down and she's made herself look, you can just tell she's made herself, like I said, she's looking like this little, you know, vulnerable girl sat there a bit far away from the camera. She's not all up in the camera, you know. Just think that's just bear that in mind, because that's one tactic that, you know, people do use in this sort of situations. They're trying to make themselves look vulnerable. She went and had a shower, and in all this time she sat and watched films. She went and had a shower. She's telling us all these little details. If you were so horrified as what she's trying to portray now, she's trying to portray this to be something worse than it is. That, you know, that she said no numerous times and you didn't listen, blah blah blah. On earth would you, we've said this before, why on earth would you go and watch films? And why on earth would you go and have a shower? Even if you did feel that, you know, you'd want to get home, to your own shower, in this situation, it just doesn't make sense.
I literally see...
You're just looking for a reason to leave. What are you talking about? I didn't do anything.
Okay, so... I just sent you that whole entire message. I went downstairs, contemplated on...
So this is the
didn't know what to do.
the
Cried.
phone call that I've seen. Ryan's also released a video on this. CROTCH cam.
Because of what you did you not just read my message?
I don't know why he's filmed his crotch. I don't know why he's even filmed this like conversation. Oh, he's moved it
I don't
now.
even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
You're
back to
sitting there
CROTCH.
saying I'm leaving you and you're fucking da-da-da-da. What do you mean? For what?
Please stop screaming.
No, I'm not. I'm about to fucking destroy my whole house.
No.
I'm pissed.
We're not
I
just...
did nothing wrong to you. Never. And you're breaking my fucking heart over something stupid.
Did you hear that? So he said, "You're breaking my heart," and she stifled a laugh. She's like sniggering. That's what that sounds like to me. She just finds this funny. She's not been violated or anything like that. She's finding this whole situation funny.
No, we had a whole tour lined up. We had a whole tour, so I could have put this past me and dealt with that because I'm a grown-ass adult, and I could have still done some... I still could have done my business, but I didn't want any part of him. Like...
No, honey, you couldn't. You honestly couldn't. If somebody is like, I don't know, what you're accusing him of is statutory rape, basically. You may not say that he's no rapist, and he's not. You're accusing him of statutory rape, of touching you when you said no. So that is what you're accusing him of. You're just being too much of a naive little girl to even realise that, the massive implications of what you are saying about him to his fan base, to the world, to the internet, to everybody. Like you're not realising what that is you're doing. You it's crazy. It's totally crazy. And now you're saying, oh, we could still work together in a professional relationship, carry on with a tour where you have to work closely with somebody. Not only do they share the stage, you'd have to be in rehearsals, you'd have to be travelling together, all of that. You would not, if somebody's done this to you, if someone's violated you and done this, that and the other, you would honestly be closing all ties. And I think It's very disrespectful to people that have actually gone through this situation. It's actually making me quite angry now. She's actually making me angry because it's very disrespectful to people that have gone through this situation for you to then say all this in detail and then say, I'm mature enough to carry on a professional relationship. If this really happened, you would not want any sort of relationship, whether it was financial, if you were to be like losing a lot of money, a lot of work from this, it wouldn't matter. You know, you'd be true to yourself, that you would break all ties with this person. And I think that's the worst thing she's actually said in this whole video. Sort of like crumbles the foundations of her whole story.
Violation story. And I want to make it...
So the whole violation story, there's the whole violation story. So basically, my views on it are that, okay, Katie is confused about her sexuality. She's got together with somebody, you know, an awesome person like, you know, Ryan Upchurch. She got a #1 song out of it. She got all these new fans, loads of publicity. But then she realised that, oh, hey, I'm not straight. There's one problem with this. I'm not straight. I've started a sexual relationship with a man and, you know, I'm not feeling that. And then she's panicked. How do I get out of this? Oh, I know. I'll accuse him of violating me because I feel guilty that I've done something that, you know, that isn't in my character and isn't who I am. That's what she's basically saying. And so, like a little girl, she has caused this whole shitstorm with no thought to anybody else apart from herself about how can I make myself look good in all this. But it's backfired on her because it's made herself look really stupid. You can see through this whole story. And yeah, I said at one point I felt sorry for her and then I got angry with her. And I do feel sorry for her. She's a confused little girl, but she's caused like massive amount of drama. Not just drama, you know, it is drama on YouTube, but it's also people's lives. She's done it at a time when he's just about to embark on a tour. So she's like basically wanted to sabotage that. I don't understand why. I mean, like I've said before, I don't understand people sometimes. I don't understand why they do these things. I'm not for one like a person that treats people badly like that. I always treat people the way I'd like to be treated myself. But other people don't, and they do throw around the L word, the love word, like it's like nothing. Basically it's not like something that I would ever do or have ever done. But people do it all the time, and then all this happens, all this hurt and craziness happens. I think with this video she's tried to like make us all feel sorry for her, and it hasn't worked. It's just made her look even more stupid. And so I don't know who helped her direct that video or whatever. They didn't do a very good job of advising her what to do, because I think she just needed to make an apology. I think she perhaps could have, I mean, it's a bit too late to do anything, as everyone's saying, to fix it. But I think she could have sort of tried to fix her public image by just apologising and just saying, yeah, I overreacted, I acted stupidly, I'm in this relationship which I didn't want to be in, and I didn't know how to get out of it. And, you know, she should have just told the truth. Instead, she's tried to make everyone feel sorry for her, and it's just dug her into an even bigger grave, really, deeper grave. Sorry, my camera just cut out. The temperature gets high in it and it cuts out after a while, and that video was really long. I can't remember what I was just saying, but that end bit on the video is the worst part, because she's still like blaming him. She's blaming him for the fact that she's not safe at the moment and her family aren't safe. And she's still saying that he's guilty. So she's not offered any apology. She seems to be like speaking in terms of the fact that the posts that she did make have been deleted and they're not being accounted for. She hasn't addressed them. She's not accepted any accountability for any of her actions. And that's not the response I was sort of hoping that she would make, but she has got like a massive attitude problem. and she's making that really apparent. So that's my thoughts on this situation. Like I said, for Ryan's sake, I hope it all blows over and doesn't, like, nothing comes of this. And that's it, really. That's it. Take care. Thanks for watching this video. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.